Welcome to the next lesson here in this course where we're going to be going over the fundamentals of Basecamp and how to set up a client template, therefore expediting time for onboarding processes and ways to go about giving resources. Not familiar with Basecamp, essentially this allows us to build out a better communication with our client, therefore allowing for better services due to the fact that email to email can sometimes be limited with the capabilities when it comes to passing files, understanding timelines, and so much more. For your reference, to start with Basecamp is completely free, so go ahead and sign up, create your account, and you can go ahead and follow along with this tutorial as we're going to build out a client template that you can start using yourself for your AI automation agency. Once you made your Basecamp account, you're going to go ahead and go to your dashboard and say make new project, which is then going to present this web page. From here, we are not going to go ahead and input any information. We're going to actually say choose a project template. Then we're going to hit edit templates. And then let's go ahead and create a template that we can start using at scale for other clients. Name this template AIAA template. And we're going to say for clients. I'm going to say set up this template. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and set up the fundamental blocks that we will need in order to have a successful onboarding template for potential clients to use and communicate with you. As you see here, we are presented with a ton of different blocks here. We're gonna go ahead and say change and rename tools. And let's go ahead and start changing the tools to what is more applicable to an AI automation agency. So the first block we're gonna be messing with today for this template is gonna be the campfire block. The campfire block allows you to do one-on-one messaging, almost like text messaging. So we're gonna go ahead and rename this to talk with us. And we can go ahead and save these changes. Let's go ahead and jump back out over here. And what's great is with a template, you can already set up a text that will send automatically once a client has been onboarded to your CRM. So we went ahead and mocked up this starter message. We said, we are excited to begin working on your AI automations and help your business thrive in today's competitive landscape. To ensure the best results, we kindly request that you provide us with any relevant information and materials that will aid in the creation and optimization of your AI solutions. Hit enter here. And what's great is essentially I won't have to send that message for every single person we onboard to our AI automation agency. This will automatically send out when we create a new project with the client's email. Coming back to our front here, as you see, it will show up right here. Now let's go ahead and do the next most important doc here, which is going to be the docs and files. We're going to go ahead and rename this to business assets. So this is going to essentially allow the business to upload relevant information that we need to access for our AI automations. Go ahead and click into here and we're going to be able to add folders. Think of this like a Google Drive, but a more UI friendly one that is found within the dashboard of your client. We're going to go ahead and name the first folder your assets. This is going to be the client's assets. And then we're going to do another folder here. And we're going to do, since we use Affinity as our last tutorial here in Webflow, we're going to do AI Affinity assets. So this is going to be us as an AI automation agency's assets. We can go ahead and drag like this. We can change the color. So maybe we want to have it so the client's is blue and then we stay this color. Once we've done that, I suggest opening up the assets that will be associated with the client and making a couple more folders here. Let's go ahead and make a folder here and we're going to do a folder of logo because sometimes that is relevant within an AI automation. We're going to do another folder here and we're going to do images. And we're going to do another folder here and we're going to do videos. So if they need to provide any of that kind of content, they can automatically drag and drop it to any of these suggested folders. Now to organize this a little bit better, what we like to do is we'll make another folder here. We're going to call it media. And we're going to hit save and we're going to go ahead and drag these folders into media and we'll go ahead and change the color of media so it looks a little bit different. Change it to this color right here. And then we're going to go ahead and add another folder here. And in this folder, this is where you can put training material or any type of resource that you wanted to provide the client that would be important for them to look at. So we can go ahead and do AI training materials. This could be PDFs that are relatively apparent within your company. Next, we can go ahead and go to our personal company folder here, and the only folder that you would need to have right off the bat would be contract. Essentially, the purpose of this is that within the contract that you and your client sign, you want to always make sure that's readily available. So why not just have it automatically added to your contract folder here, and then the business can look at it if they wish to in the future. All right, so let's go ahead and build our next block here. Our next block here is going to give you the ability to essentially create little forms. So we'll just call this resources. And the way you want to approach this block is that if it doesn't really fit a PDF or a landing PDF and it's more important, or it's kind of unanimous between clients, this is where you're going to add what they call messages. So these are going to be like kind of like Google Docs. What we can do here is, for example, we could just say we can add a category here. We can do FYI. You can also create categories if you choose to do so. And then essentially we would just put in information about who we are as a company. As you see here, you're able to bold text, add links to text, format text, add files to text. For this context, we can go ahead and just do AIs with AI affinity automation. And then obviously you can go as long as you want. We're gonna go ahead and post this message. So then therefore, when the potential client is onboarded and they're put into this template, they'll automatically get the message, automatically get these folders, and automatically get this Google Doc-like situation where they click into this, who we are, and get more information. This could be settings, this could be billing, this could be a whole plethora of things. Basically, this is kind of train your client on specific resources that you want them to be aware of. Now, the next important block here is going to be a timeline block. So the way we're going to do that essentially is we're going to go ahead and use a card table feature. And with the card table feature, I'm going to drag it over here. Let's go ahead and rename it to automation timeline. So this is going to be a great tool to use so you don't necessarily get constantly emailed by the underlying client you're working with. This kind of expedites a lot of time. So this is how we like to organize this. Essentially what we'll do is we'll go ahead and rename this, name it AI automation in progress. Save changes. Let's go ahead and give an example card here. Do title example AI automation, and then we'll put a little description here so when the user is onboarded to the platform, they can kind of see, okay, well, what is this example card? Okay, so essentially the example card explains the underlying AI automation that's being worked, and then a description can be found. So I'm going to save that card, and then essentially we're going to add a couple of these columns. Now you can organize these columns how you would like. Typically you can organize by type of AI automation. So we could do maybe social media, and we can do rename this one to operations. And let's go ahead and add one more here. We'll do customer service. So then the way you can kind of structure this for your end goal for your client is, let's say the service that they went ahead and onboarded for was an AI article generator. What you can do here is you can kind of go to social media, drag that there, rename that card to AI article generator, give a little context, and then have it dragged here. So then when it is done and you have officially sent over, the service has been completed, everyone is happy, you can go ahead and drag that all the way to done. And that shows up here as one of the past cards or one of the past services that you did for that client. The client sees that and they'll probably rehire you for future services due to how clear and transparent the process was. Okay, so the next most important block here is we can go ahead and remove to-dos. You can add to-dos if you choose to do so. This is a different way to format timeline. We just like the cards because it's a little bit more friendly UI-wise. We can go ahead and remove schedule. We're going to go ahead and add a link here. They call them doors. Essentially, this is going to be where an individual can sign up to schedule an one-on-one call if they have questions. Now, if out of all of these links here, you don't see your scheduling software, go ahead and hit external services. For us, we use Calendly. We will take our Calendly event here. We're going to add this door and we can go ahead and add a description and a title. To do so, we'll just hit add description, simply paste one in, and we have schedule a meeting with an account manager here. And then from here, we can go ahead and go back out. And we have officially created a effective template that we can use with our client. The client will be able to talk to us directly within this template through the messaging. They'll be able to upload relatively important assets that are associated with your AI automation here. They'll be able to get access to resources that you deem important for them to see. They get a timeline and they have the ability to talk to you one-on-one if they choose to do so through your scheduling link. Now, all you need to do once you want to use this template is essentially say, make new project, choose project template here. We're going to choose AIAA template here. You want to put the name of the project. Typically you'd want to do, services or affinity services, and then dash, and then whatever the client is, XYZ. Give maybe a description here, maybe the client's email, put that there, choose the tools. It's all good. We create project here, and we're going to be using the template we just created, and boom, there we go. Now we have created a entire platform and dashboard for your client that is dedicated to them, and it has everything that we created earlier automatically there. Now you know the essentials when it comes to building out a CRM, and more specifically when dealing with Basecamp and setting up templates. So when you get that first client, you'll have everything you want on that dashboard. This is important as this is really going to cut down on time. And as you work with more and more clients in your specific industry, there is going to be more apparent things that you need to include within that dashboard, whether that be within the file section or the resource section. You will find out as you work with more clients, as there are going to be certain things that they request or deem to be important, and you'll be able to apply that to that dashboard. Now that we understand how to handle the management side of when we get a client, let's go to understand how to handle payment structure and what processes we use when handling payments as an AI automation agency.